guys, welcome to Coding Techniques again. For you guys, I have brought a new video, and in this video we are going to learn how to upload an image to our server. And for the server, I'm going to take the NodeJS one. So we are going to use the Ionic application with NodeJS to upload our file in NodeJS one. And we will try all this locally. So let's get started with today's video. So as you can see out here, I have already created a new project using this particular command. Alright, and after creating the project, I have gone inside the project folder and running it in Visual Studio Code. So this is our project which is up and running, and I am running out here Ionic serve command to run it in our browser. Let's see how it runs in the browser. So this is running pretty nicely in our browser. Now what am I going to do? I'll go to the home page. Let's go out here, and we are going to work with the camera plugin at first. So let's go to the browser and go to our capacitorjs.com. In fact, you can go to Ionic framework website also, because it is integrated out there also. But I'll go with this particular stuff only, and let's go to camera one. In the camera one, we need to install this up. So I simply will copy this and let me open another shell and we'll paste it out there. Fine. Once that is installed, I won't go for the next command because right now we don't have any platform added, so it won't mean anything unless we add one. But in this particular case, I'm not going to add any platform. We are going to just work with the browser. And for browser, well, I need to install the PW elements also, which is shown out here. Let's go inside that, and I need to install it up to run it in the browser also. Let's copy this and I'll go out here, simply paste it, okay, and hit enter. So this will also get installed. Now once that is installed, what next we need to do? We need to add the import in main.ts file, and this define custom elements also we need to add. So let's go out here. Installation is done. Now I'll go to the main.ts file, and I have already added this to stuff. You can simply check and copy and paste in your system also. Once that is done, I'll go to the home page again, and in the home page, now we need to work with the camera functionality. So in the camera functionality, this is the function that you can use directly. Now what am I going to do? I will create a function called take picture. Alright, and this particular function I'm going to call on click of a button. So let me just remove all the stuff which we have out here. Okay, let's remove everything, and I'll name it as file transfer to Node.js. Okay, let's remove this one also, and from SCSS I'm going to clear it up. Fine, now it's fine. Let's create a button, ion button, where I'll expand it to block. Okay, and we'll also give a margin. So ion margin, or ion padding would be better. Let's go for margin, and the name I'll give take a picture. Okay, let's check it out, as it is already running in the browser, so we can simply check it directly. So this is working fine. If I click on it, I need to give a click event out here. So click, and within this I'm simply going to pass take picture. Alright, I have passed this functionality out here. Now within this function, we are going to work with the camera plugin. Okay, so in the camera plugin, we need to create this up in order to work with the, like, to take photos or to take a picture or access the photos one. So for that, I will do something different. Let me explain you what exactly I'm going to do. Let me make it async at first, because you can see out here we need the await one. So we need to make the function async. Fine. The next step which I'm going to do out here is the first step actually, and that will be related to the permission. So I'm simply going to check if the platform is not web. Definitely if you're working with the Android or iOS, definitely you need to take the permission of camera. So that is why I'm just placing this up, and I'll just add it in the imports, and from capacitor also I'll have this. Now the error is gone. So this is the first thing, because on web you don't need the permission, as it's not going to work and it will give you some errors. Okay, now the next step is similar, the function that is shown out here, but the things will be a little different. Let me work with that. So I'm going to just create a constant called image, where I will simply work with the same functionality, but I am passing camera source to be prompt, which is not passed out here. Basically, prompt means that it will ask you whether to take a picture or to get the pictures from the photos. So by default also, I think it's prompt only, so you can simply skip that part, okay? And the width, even you can skip this one also if you don't want, but I just want to specify the width of my image. That is why I'm just giving that up. All right. So, and I'll update the import, and in fact, let me keep this also. If you don't want, definitely you can remove it up. It's the same stuff only. Okay, I've imported everything. Now everything is good to go. And yes, you want to save it to gallery or not, I've just set it to true, so that the image which we are taking from the camera, it will get stored in the gallery. If you don't want, definitely you can remove this, because we will be working in the browser only. Alright, so I think this is ready now, and finally I am just logging the value of it. Let's check it out whether it works or not. So our Ionic server is already running. Let's go out here and try this up. So I'll just click on it and we are getting the options. That's great. Let me go from photos, and I'll just take one of my pictures, and you can see we are able to see the data that is coming up out here. That is data URL and the format. Okay, these two things I am getting. That's great. So after getting that, I need to work with the data URL one. Let's work with this. Now, in order to transfer the file to Node.js 1, well, we need to do certain tasks. We need to convert our data URL to blob, and for that, let me just type the functionality. This is a function which we need to use, because it will convert the data URL to blob, and after we get the blob, we will convert that into a file and we will transfer it up. So let me just do that quickly. Okay, you don't need to spend a lot of time in this. You simply search on the internet, you will get this particular stuff, and if you want to learn more about it, you can definitely do that out there. I won't explain you in details about this stuff. It's pretty easy if you just pay attention to it. All right, let's use this up out here. So now I'm just going to create a constant called blob, okay, where I'm going to call this function and pass the data URL, and in return, what am I going to get? Well, I'll get the blob. Okay, now this blob, I'm going to send this to new file, okay, which is basically you can directly use it in Angular. Okay, so when I'm calling this file constructor, so it will convert this particular blob to a file, okay, whose name is being given as profile.png, or you can give any name you want. Let me keep it as it is. Then the type, well, I've just passed png. Well, you can change it also if you want to, or you can remove it also if you don't want to pass. So this is my image file, and in fact I can show this file also. So what am I going to do? Not this one actually. I can directly show the data URL. Let me just show you. What am I going to do? Let me have this dot image will be equals to image dot data URL, and you can see there are certain other things also like base64 string and other stuff, but that is not coming up, so I'm not going in depth of it. Leave it as it is. Now image, well, let me have this particular property of type any, and I'm going to use it out here after we get to work with the button. So I'm going to have an image tag where I'm going to pass src. Okay, src will be equals to the image one. Okay, let me close the tag, and I'll give a condition out here that it will only show up if we have image. Fine, hope it's clear. Now let's try this up. I'll click out here, take from photos, select this up, and you can see picture is coming up. So it's working pretty nicely, right? Now you can adjust this one also if you want to, like what can we do? Let me just clear it up from here and let me pass it out here, but I cannot give margin, I should give padding. Let's try this. Now I'll just take from photos again, select this up. You can see margin is adjusted pretty nicely. Okay, so you can just play around with the design as per your requirement, but right now we are working with the functionality, so let's focus on the functionality now. Okay, or you can do one more thing. You can just place this button after this image. I think that will also look better. So let's try this once again. That's looking nice, in fact, right? I'll keep it as it is. That's great. All right, so our image is coming up now. In fact, I will check the value of this image URL also, which we are getting out here, which is in fact a file. whose name is profile.png, and the type and everything is given pretty nicely. So we need to pass this file now to our Node.js one. So let's quickly create a Node.js project, and for doing that up, well, I have already shown you in the previous video how to create a Node.js project, so I won't waste a lot of time out there. I'll directly use the project from there itself. If you haven't seen that, the link is out there at the top on the I button. If you click on that, you will get to that particular video where I've shown the Stripe payments one. All right, so you can just check that out, and if you still can't find it, definitely you will find it in the description. Don't need to worry about it. So what am I going to do? Well, let me quickly create one. Now this is a blank folder which I have created, upload photo, and within this we are going to create a Node.js project from the beginning. Let me just show you up. All right, so what am I going to do? npm init -- yes. Okay, let's go for it. All right, the package.json file is created. Now what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to install few things. That will be npm I express. Along with that, I will also work with the course one. Well, I have already explained in the previous video. You can simply check that out. All right, so I'm going to install these two things. All right, this is done. Now I'll create out here a file which I'll name it as index.js. Okay, and within this we are going to work with all this stuff. So let's get started. Now at first I'll create a constant called express where I will import the express one. Then I will directly work with the course one in the similar manner when both of them is done. The next thing, I'll create a constant called app which will hold the express functionality, because with that only we are going to work with all this stuff, not directly in Node.js one, because it is very beneficial to use ExpressJS. That is why I'm going to use that. And if you want to learn more about Node.js and ExpressJS and all other stuff, definitely you can check my course. The links out there in the description. Go and check it out right now. And after this is done, I will use middlewares app.use. Use is basically the middleware where I'm going to pass express.json. So that means whatever data we are passing, that should be in a JSON format. Okay, means it will wrap that up. And the second one, I'm using the course one. So basically, if you have any course issue, definitely it will be resolved because we are passing in the middleware. Middleware means what? That means before hitting the main functionality, it will go through all these middlewares at first, and then it will jump to the main functionality. All right, so after that is done, let's check it out what next we need to do. Let me create a constant called port where I will pass the port number also, and then I need to listen to this particular port. So now in order to listen to that particular port, I'll use this functionality. All right, so this will listen to this particular port on this port number, and in order to run this up, well, that is a pretty interesting thing. You need to go to package.json file, and out here you have this particular script, but I'm not going to run that script. In fact, instead of this, I'm going to run this particular script where I am accessing the index.js file directly. Okay, so in order to run this up, I'll simply run the command npm start. And in order to run the test one, you need to run the command npm run start. Then only the test one will work. Okay, remember these things. All right, now you see the server is running at 3000. That is working. Now let's go back to our index.js file, and out here we need to work with the other functionality. That means the uploading one. Let's jump to that, but for that I will go to the browser, and out here let me search for Multer, because that is what we are going to use to upload our file. So Multer npm, and I'll get inside it. Now this is how we need to use it up. I need to install it in this particular manner at first, and then, well, this is how we need to use it. Okay, so I'll do the same stuff as explained out here. Let's try this up now. So let me install it at first in different shell. All right, in this particular manner. Once that is done, the next step is to run this particular one. Now I'll just go to the backend again, and this is the front end, right? So backend is out here. I've just aligned it properly. Now I'll simply paste it, and then I'll in fact call this one also. Let's go out there and call this up. And I have a habit of giving semicolon. That's a good habit to work with. And now the next thing is to work with directly the post method. So I'll simply call the same stuff. Let me copy it and paste it out here. Okay, this is the post method. Remember this. Now within this we are going to get request.file. Basically this is the one, and the name, well, I'll just explain you what exactly we need to do. The front end part is not yet over. I'll explain, don't need to worry. So I'm going to look out here for console.log request.file. So basically it will be the file that will be that will be transferred, and this is the functionality that is responsible for uploading the image to this particular path, uploads one. So we don't have any uploads folder right now. Let me just create one. I don't think it will be created automatically. Let's wait for it. Let's try once and then I'll do that up. So instead of avatar, let me just change it to photo. Out here also, let me just write it down. Okay, I think everything is good to go. Let me just remove this because I just like to work with the TypeScript one. So in TypeScript, definitely you need to write this in this particular manner. Okay, now everything is ready out here. So this is the profile one. Instead of profile, I'll just pass photo. This will be my URL that will run on localhost colon 3000/photo. Okay, I think everything is good to go out here. Now in the front end, what am I going to do? Let me just scroll down. After we get the file, I need to create the form data. So let me create a variable called post data, which will be equals to new form data. Okay. Now this form data will be responsible for creating, sending the file to our server. Now I'll simply use HTTP, and for that I need to go to the app.module.ts file, and in the imports one, I need to have HTTP client module, and I need to import it up. So import HTTP client module, give some spacing to it, from @angular/common/HTTP. Okay, you can see the error is gone, right? Copy this import and go to your home.ts file, and out here in the constructor, I'm going to use private HTTP from HTTP client. Okay, this time I'm getting the suggestion, so I don't need to like copy and paste the import. That's great. Once that is done, I think everything is fine. So once I initialize it up, then I need to work with it. So out here, now what am I going to do? I'm going to paste this up. So this is how we append the data with the form data. So I'm using the name by which I can identify out there. I've named it as photo, and the value that I've given, I'm simply passing image file, and I've just given a default name to be profile.png. You can even give that any name you like, and in fact you can take the name from here also, from the image file also, and pass it out there. But just I'm keeping it in this particular manner. That's pretty okay for me. If you want, definitely you can give png also if you want to. Fine. And if you want to append normal data, then what you need to do, you need to simply pass form data dot append the name, any name, and let's say the value is name. So this is how you can simply pass it up. All right. So let me just remove this. Now once that is ready, I simply need to work with the HTTP to pass my data to the server. So I'm simply going to use this .http.post function, okay, which is of type, let's say, any data I can get from there, and I need to pass the URL, which will be http://localhost, okay, :3000/photo. And the data which I'm going to send is simply the post data. Okay, now out here, if I use dot, I get these options. Okay, so I don't need to subscribe to it directly. I can use it. So what am I going to do? I'm going to initialize it to constant data dollar will be equals to this particular value, and after this I'll listen to this response. So const response will be equals to, I'll just pass last value from, okay, which I've imported from RxJS. So instead of toPromise, you need to use this up, and I'm simply going to pass data dollar. Okay, once that is done, everything is good to go. So I'm basically converting this to toPromise, which you don't get the options nowadays as it is deprecated. Fine. Alright, so out here the response will be hold from the backend, and I need to pass await out here. Alright, so once that is done, everything is good to go, and I'm going to log the response, whatever I get. Fine. Now what response I can expect And if there is any error also, definitely you can track that also by passing everything within the try catch. That is a better approach. We pass everything within the try, and in the catch one I'll simply log the error, okay, and align everything properly in this particular way. Fine, hope it's clear. In fact, you can pass this URL in your environment also. That's a better option to work with, but I'll keep it in this particular manner only, and I'll break down few stuff so that it's pretty easy to understand. Okay, all right, so looking nice now. Great. And this should be 3000, not 300. Now it's fine. All right, so our front end is ready. Now we need to work with the back end. Let's get it ready. So once I get this result, I need to simply send it, right? Because I just need to see the file value. And for that, I will use res.status. I'll send 200, and in the send function, I'm simply going to pass request.file, okay? Because I want to see the value of it. And if there is any error, definitely you need to catch that also. And for that, I'm going to do everything within the try catch one, okay, in this particular manner. If there is any error, I'm simply going to throw it in the next function. Fine. And we'll pass everything within the try catch one in this particular manner, okay. I hope now it's perfectly all right. Our backend is also ready and our front end is also ready. Let's try this up, whether it works or not. So I think it is running, but the changes won't reflect, so I need to stop this and run this again. All right, now it is up and running again. We are good to start with this. So let's go to the browser now. Now in the browser out here, what am I going to do? I'll take a picture, okay, from photos. Let me select this up. I've selected, and this is just passing me the field name, all right, which is coming from here. Okay, so I'm getting the field name, destination, okay, and the file name, original file name, the path. That's what we need to access, the path. So now let's check it in the backend. So in the backend, you can see the uploads folder is created, and this is the file which is unable to access it, right? And why is that so? Let me just explain you. Now let me just explain you what is the exact problem. So out here, I will just open it up in Finder, and this is the file. So what is happening is there is no means the extension is not appended. So what happens is if I give out here like JPG, okay, if I hit enter, if I add this up extension, then you will see this image is showing up, right? And now if I try to just select this, it is opening up. So this is how it is working. We need to pass the extension also, and for that we need to work with this one. So let's check it in the documentation, what exactly we need to do. Now out here, in order to work with the file thing, we need to work with this storage one. So disk storage we need to work with up. So let me simply copy this up. All right, and what am I going to do? I'm going to go to my backend and let me just paste it out here. All right, let me just explain you how I'm going to work with this. So at first the destination is being given. In the destination, definitely I'll have this particular one only. So I don't want to change this up to any other one. /uploads, that's pretty fine. And then the file name, I want to work with this particular one. So this will be the unique file name that will be created automatically using this functionality basically. And once that is done, okay, file name, field name, okay, this field name will be appending with the unique suffix, and this will be created. But I need the extension at the very end. So let me just check it out here, what exactly happens if I just work with this. So here, well, let me just select this up, and I'm getting the field name, which is photo, which I don't want actually. I want to append this original name, all right, along with the other unique suffix that is being created. So what I can do is I'll just go out here and let me just cut this up. Let me just cut this, and let me remove this one too. Out here, what am I going to do? I'll add the same thing but in a different manner, in an opposite way. Instead of the field name, I'll have the original name. All right, now I'll have the suffix means the extension also. So I think this is what I need to do, and I'm okay with this stuff. I think once the storage is ready, well, how to append this in my uploads one, that is the question. So instead of the destination, I simply need to pass this particular one, storage options, okay. Let me just cut this and I'll paste it out here after this is done. So it will get from Multer and storage options. That's how we are going to work with this. And this particular storage options will be this particular one. So I've just renamed this storage to storage option. Otherwise you can simply pass storage also. Let me just undo this. I think that will be better. If you don't pass it also, then also it's fine because it's of the same name, but I'll still give it. Okay, let's pass storage only. That will be better. Now once the upload is ready, let's see now what happens if I try to use it again. Let's try this up. I'll take a picture from photos and let me select this picture this time. What do I get? I'm getting, alright, the same stuff only, the file data. But let's see in the backend what do we have. So this is the one. Okay, again it is not getting uploaded in a proper manner. Why is it so? Alright, actually I need to run it again in order to work with this because we are not using NodeMon right now. I think I should have used NodeMon. That would be better because I'm adept to that. But not to worry, I have stopped this and run this again. Now the changes will reflect. Let's try this one more time. So I'll just reload it up and let's go for this time. Let's see what happens. Okay, we got an error basically, and the error says, alright, I found out the problem. Basically I need to just pass a dot out here and you need to start this over again, then only it will work. So that's the only thing we need to change, and other things are pretty fine. Let's try this one more time. So I'll simply go to take a picture, select from photo, and what am I going to do? Let me just select this picture now. You can see we are getting the fill name data and it is 16768. Okay, huge number. Last is 27. So let's check it out. Okay, I think 27, this is the one. So this is the picture that is coming up, and we have the extension .png extension is there. Alright, so our image is uploaded successfully to the Node.js server and it's working great, and I hope you've understood. So let me know in the comment section if you want to learn more about this particular feature like file transfer using Laravel or PHP or any other. So let me know in the comment section. Alright, so with this I'll wrap up this video out here. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.